All right, we'll try and play that story for you a bit later on the show, but let's get you some other related news. While Sushma Swaraj was getting thunderous rounds of applause in Parliament, while she decimated Pakistan's facade, there was one voice that almost went unnoticed in the din. Rajeev Chandrasekhar, Congress MP from Maharashtra, called for a Parliament motion to censure Pakistan, but hardly got any support. Another MP, Rajeev Chandrasekhar, already has a pending bill moved declaring Pakistan a terror state, which is gathering dust. The question remains, will our MPs reduce themselves to merely thumping their desk in appreciation, or will they unite to come up with something more concrete?
Chants of Pakistan Murdabad echoing across Parliament after Sushma Swaraj decimated the Islamabad pretense. But could they have done more?
While Sushma Swaraj was getting thunderous applause while decimating Pakistan's facade, there was one voice which was almost lost in the din. Rajeev Chandrasekhar, a Congress MP from Maharashtra, who called in for Parliament motion to censure Pakistan today, but he hardly got any support. Another MP, Rajeev Chandrasekhar, who already has a private member's bill pending for declaring Pakistan a terrorist state. But the bill is gathering dust. The question is, will our MPs be reduced to thumping their desk in appreciation, or will they unite together for something concrete?
The fact remains that as long as the Faruqs and the Nareshs continue in Parliament, the efforts of the Rajis to push forward concrete action will continue to come croppers.
What resolution can we find? A resolution will have to take the opposition to account. If you're going to pass a resolution by a majority strength of BJP, then what is the need for a resolution?
We would want the government to expose Pakistan in the international community and also now seek to somehow bring back Yadav. I know it is a difficult task, but government should continue.
The whole House unanimously associated with the statement made by Sushma ji and expressed concern to get him released, Mr. Gulbhushan Yadav.
हम सब लोग राष्ट्र के साथ हैं, कुलदीप यादव के साथ हैं, उनके परिवार के साथ हैं। पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ सरकार जितनी कड़ी कार्रवाई करेगी, हम लोग सरकार।
Pakistan has been given a firm tongue lashing, but it's a nation which remains as incorrigible as ever. Is it time our netas finally show unity against Pakistan? With Atir Khan in New Delhi, Bureau Report, NewsX.
All right, let's now get you some other news from around the country. The government is set to introduce anti-trafficking laws soon. The bill proposes a 10-year punishment for...
This program is co-powered by Max Rupa. You health first.
Welcome back. Pakistan has got its ears in a twist in trying to humiliate and hound Jadav's wife and mother. They've humiliated themselves. Now, even as India's parliament looked to unite today, what should our netas actually be doing? We have the Faruqs, the Nareshs, the Mustafa Kamals lurking and skulking. The Mani Shankars are on standby to offer an explanation on Pakistan's behalf. So is something more emphatic needed from India's August halls? Today, demands were raised for a resolution condemning Pakistan for what it's done. A bill declaring Pakistan a terror state has been hanging fire for months. Resoluteness in the face of a shameless, bloody and intractable enemy bent on its own destruction but hoping to take as many around it down with it. For them, resoluteness needs to be a vocal thing. Pak's narrow minds see victory in our freedom to dissent, hope in our divisions. They need to see the door effectively and absolutely slammed shut. How should that be done? And what role should our netas and parliament be playing? We have that conversation now. Here's what happened.
Chants of Pakistan Murdabad echoing across Parliament after Sushma Swaraj decimated the Islamabad pretense. But could they have done more?
While Sushma Swaraj was getting thunderous applause while decimating Pakistan's facade, there was one voice which was almost lost in the din. Rajeev Chandrasekhar, a Congress MP from Maharashtra, who called in for Parliament motion to censure Pakistan today, but he hardly got any support. Another MP, Rajeev Chandrasekhar, who already has a private member's bill pending for declaring Pakistan a terrorist state. But the bill is gathering dust. The question is, will our MPs be reduced to thumping their desks in appreciation, or will they unite together for something concrete?
The fact remains that as long as the Faruqs and the Nareshs continue in Parliament, the efforts of the Rajeevs to push forward concrete action will continue to come croppers.
What resolution can we find? A resolution will have to take the opposition to account. If you're going to pass a resolution by a majority strength of BJP, then what is the need for a resolution?
We would want the government to expose Pakistan in the international community and also now seek to somehow bring back Yadav. I know it is a difficult task, but government should continue.
The whole House unanimously associated with the statement made by Sushma ji and expressed concern to get him released, Mr. Gulbhushan Jadhav.
हम सब लोग राष्ट्र के साथ हैं, कुलदीप यादव के साथ हैं, उनके परिवार के साथ हैं। पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ सरकार जितनी कड़ी कार्रवाई करेगी, हम लोग सरकार।
Pakistan has been given a firm tongue lashing, but it's a nation which remains as incorrigible as ever. Is it time our netas finally show unity against Pakistan? With Atir Khan in New Delhi, Bureau Report, NewsX.
And I think Naresh Agarwal's reference to Kulbhushan Jadhav as Kuldeep says it all as to where netas are concerned. You all know what trouble he got himself into yesterday. So it's a simple thing. Ambassador Sajanar, table thumping, is that enough from our politicians?
No, absolutely not.
So what should they do?
I think basically we have to do something that really hurts Pakistan.
What was that?
And I think in a manner of speaking, not only at the border, not only in a reactive sense, but, something in a proactive manner.
Yes.
I think we have been doing something over the last year plus, 2 years plus, where Pakistan has been feeling the pressure.
The government. But when it comes to this, I mean, here a guy, while Sushma is speaking, and there's, Pak Muradabad, people are chanting, this guy is saying, oh, we should actually get together and send a resolution. At least sends out a message.
Yeah.
It gets into global headlines. It sends out something that, India is not full of the Naresh Agarwals of the world who say he's a terrorist, he deserves to be treated like that, and you move on beyond that. How do we do that?
That's exactly what I was coming to. When you're talking about branding Pakistan as a terrorist state.
Yes.
You look at what has happened over the last 6 months.
Yes.
And I speak about, first of all, the BRICS declaration on the 4th of September.
Yes.
Where you have the Russian president, the Chinese president.
For the first time condemning terror from Pakistan, yes.
Naming at least 8 of the terrorist groups which are based in Pakistan.
So this is all progress. But again, my point becomes...
And Pakistan is feeling the pressure.
General Sevach, when it comes to our politicians, now you see... Right. There are sides and there should always be sides in a story where the people who travel to Pakistan or members of parliament invite them over, hold their conferences and they carry on in track 1.5, 2.5, whatever you want to call it. But then comes the apologists, then come the people explaining, then come the people who are trying to target the current day government in India, therefore seem to be playing apologists for Pakistan. When it comes to a uniform message, how do we do?
The fact is that in case if you want to corner Pakistan, you must declare in your own parliament Pakistan as a terrorist state. We have been talking that the United Nations must declare Pakistan as a terrorist state. Let's first declare him in the parliament of ours and thereafter put pressure on United Nations to declare him as a terrorist state. Okay. And also put pressure on US that he is also a major non-NATO ally. That must be taken out.
Yes.
And also put pressure on...
Go ahead. That's a distant dream. Forget about declaring Pakistan as a terrorist state.
Yeah.
India has still not withdrawn Pakistan's status as most favored nation.
Absolutely.
We still, so basically
why
both the
struggling,
government...
Actually, why are we struggling in that? What's the view here? Because
both the government and the opposition,
yes.
Until 2014, it was the UPA government which had given the most favored nation status. Now the BJP government in last 4 years have been able to withdraw that. Leave aside declaring Pakistan as a terrorist state. Before doing that, you will have to first withdraw the MFN status from Pakistan.
Yes.
That has not been done. This is clear.
Yes.
That basically gives our netas to play politics. That's just
politics can continue.
Politician will continue, but you have to put pressure. I'm saying that what you are saying that
if Raj Qadian, I mean the politics continues. It becomes a political arena. Chest thumping on both sides, but when it comes to unity, to send a unified message, we are missing it. Why not? Why not be emphatic? So I'm going to get the audio line with you fixed, and once it's done, my producers will tell me, Ambassador Mukherjee, why do we shy away from being less than emphatic? Is it political, opportunism? What happens?
I don't think it's political opportunism. That probably is part of it.
Yeah.
The thing is, there are nuances. There are international law nuances in these things, which I think in our may make our minds a little convoluted.
Okay.
This whole business of declaring Pakistan a terror state, for instance, has legal implications.
Yes.
Because certain things have to then automatically fall in place, which is,
we don't have a law that governs this. The United States does. We don't have a law that governs this. So those automatics don't really exist.
But since it does exist in international law, we'll probably have to follow it. So we'll have to think this through. Yes, I agree. Something strong should be done, but it'll have to be properly thought out. WTO, for instance, the MFN, being members of WTO, we are mandated to give MFN treatment to all members of WTO, which we've given to Pakistan. The fact is that Pakistan has not given it to us. Now, it's a question of political will. We could take the position that we are members of WTO, we respect the WTO norms, but as long as Pakistan is not giving us the MFN, we will also suspend it.
Rishabh, what I want to say that the trade between India and Pakistan is very minimal. Now, if you were to take away, it will be symbolically important, but it will not really hurt. And the people who are going to speak against it are, we should not be taking symbolic gestures. We should be making symbolic gestures.
No, but we shouldn't be doing everything in the book, but everything that's available.
More than symbolism, we should take some concrete action which
but surely, like I said, table thumping and chanting Murdabad is not going to be enough either. Certainly not going to be enough. Narendra Taneja, why have we shied away from it, sir? I mean, here we are. We have not talked to Pakistan in months. We have made them pay on the LOC, but when it comes to sending a message from the halls of parliament, we have struggled so desperately, despite the speeches. Why?
No, what else? I mean, we are a democracy. The parliament, you saw the voice of parliament today, and every single Indian treats Pakistan a terrorist state. And people in a democracy are the most important thing. And the most important is the voice of the people. And people of India, 1.26 billion, all caste, all religion are united, all genders united. Pakistan is terrorist. That's what India thinks. And that's what should matter most, instead of wasting our time and energy on unnecessary symbolism. The important thing is that what we are doing against Pakistan militarily, diplomatically and economically, you have to see that and look at, for instance, on militarily or economically or diplomatically, we have strangled Pakistan. Pakistan is finding it difficult to breathe. So appreciate that. And at the same time, as a MFN is concerned, it is of no significance. All WTO members give that kind of status to each other. It has no meaning. In any case, when it comes to we also have to keep in mind that these things, when it comes to these matters, politicians and professionals like diplomats, they work together. And the question is that if some political party want to make an issue out of MFN, they were in power for 10 years.
No, which is exactly the point. Why did it was given by one government, hasn't been removed by the other. I understand your technical argument. But the question only beckons is, if so many strong measures are being taken in so many places across the board, why is this one missing, and for what reason? If it's not declaring Pakistan a terrorist state, what would a resolution do? Something symbolic that goes beyond just making speeches. I understand your point, sir. Let me quickly rope in Adil also, and I'll come back to you. Adil, take it away.
No, I'm just saying there is a lot of symbolism.
Rishabh, I think the government of India needs to do
symbolism, you're saying? Can I come symbolism in? For the sake of symbolism, you're not impressed by it.
And that's what we are focusing on.
Okay, let Adil come in. Adil
is focusing on.
Rishabh, can I come in, please? Rishabh, I think the government of India needs to do more diplomatically. Very recently, the United States government had passed, the US Congress had passed the defense bill. In that, what you interestingly saw was that reimbursement to Pakistan was contingent on taking action against the Haqqani network and the LET. But Lashkar and the other organizations which carry out activities against India were left outside the purview of that. So this is something I think the government of India needs to step up pressure. That's point number one. Very recently, I don't agree with Mr. Taneja when he says that Pakistan stands diplomatically isolated. Just recently, the Russians, the Chinese, the Turkish have come together to pass a resolution just last week. I think the government of India needs to do more as far as isolating Pakistan diplomatically is concerned, and our immediate objective needs to be to bring back Mr. Jadhav. Mr. Jadhav has been kept in illegal captivity. It is the treatment which has been meted out is an insult to India.
Of course, easier
and I
said
think
than
all
done.
our energies must be concentrated.
I agree with you. In the end, it's about the life of that man.
Apart from this, I think a coherent strategy is needed.
Okay, coherent strategy, more diplomatic efforts.
Which has continuity.
Okay, I'll let Narendra Taneja respond to that before I go back to my panelists as well as to Asran Bhatti. Mr. Taneja.
Give me 30 seconds. You see, I want to remind to Congress party spokesperson, they were in power for 10 years. They know it, you know, here with Pakistan, we are dealing with a country which is uncivilized, which is barbaric. Pakistan is no isle of men. Appreciate that.
Yes.
The question is a difficult country and we are dealing with a country. We have done
Mr.
more in
Taneja,
3.5 years than they could do for 67 years.
Yeah.
They were the one who created the
problem. Like nobody's suggesting Kashmir is easy to resolve either.
No, if you have
that's not the point. And I completely agree with you, Narendra Taneja. There is no silver bullet.
Co-panelist, so you can give lecture later.
Yes,
don't give us lecture in front of a Pakistani co-panelist.
Which is true.
You should know there is a Pakistani co-panelist here.
Which is true.
If you have some suggestion, you can give it to us later.
So silver bullet,
but
there isn't one.
India down, don't talk India down like that in front of Pakistanis.
Okay, silver bullet is, there is an existing one, but quickly, Ambassador Sajjanar, when it comes to other things, why don't we look, when we talk about should as Indians be boycotting Pakistan goods, why don't we examine these things at all? Shouldn't it be twisting the screws at all ends?
No, absolutely. But I think, you know, how many of Pakistan goods do you see in your own market? I think very few. Meaning in that sense, you know, China has, you know, flooded your markets.
Yes.
But Pakistan, hardly anything comes in. You know, let me make one point as to what was being suggested by Mr. Boparai and Mr. Taneja.
Yes.
That is, you know, to have greater diplomatic efforts. I think let's realize that diplomacy, it's a continuing process. We have made very significant progress in, you know, surrounding Pakistan over the last 2-3 years.
Okay.
And it should continue.
And the reality, General Sivach, is that India is just too big a country now. I mean, there's only so much damage that Pakistan can do. Eventually, the problem should take care of itself. But when in a suicidal position, when the country becomes suicidal, they can still trouble you. What should we do to make sure that doesn't happen?
See, the point is, as far as Pakistan is concerned, it has been internationally isolated.
Yes.
Everyone knows that it is basically a failed state, terrorist state, and a rogue state. We have managed to show it to the world it is one. What is happening they are doing in Jammu and Kashmir, we have paid them back. Today we are very offensive as far as line of control is concerned. We are paying them nice and proper. As far as the Kashmir is concerned, it is by and large coming very close to normalcy.
Yes.
We have killed more than 200 terrorists.
Okay. But
what I am trying to convey
is
that we need to isolate Pakistan. We need to put pressure from US.
Ashish, there's a political
despite having a senior major general and also two diplomats, I would still take the liberty, and correct me if I'm wrong, see, the diplomacy, military and economic decisions with respect to one country are interdependent. You can't be conducting a surgical strike against one country and at the same time give the most favored nation status as well. So that is something where both the earlier government in last 10 years and the current government in last 4 years have been failing. And if you do not complement all these aspects with each other, that certainly Pakistan will take for India for granted, and these kind of humiliations will continue to happen. As far as the politics is concerned, Rishabh, I must make a point here. It is not all the politicians parties are coming together by choice. It's a default action because none of the political parties today can afford to see going in favor of Pakistan or criticizing the Indian government. So it's a default reaction that's happening. None of the political parties are taking a stand, and they have not executed their stands as far as their thoughts are concerned into any kind of action, be it the 10 years of UPA or the 4 years of the NDA.
Okay, I'll let the politicians come in just a bit. Arsalan Bhatti, come in on this, on the thought. What has this game been going on for so long? What are you benefiting from this, that you so intractably in a self-destruct mode just to bash India and take India down with you? Why? Mr. Bhatti, you can hear me, sir? Yes, take it away. We can hear you. Carry on.
We have not been bashed. We have not bashed India. Neither we are substitute that India bashed Pakistan for showing the actual mirror to it that we had planned meeting between a terrorist and their family? Is this the way what India responded?
Don't you, as a Pakistani, sir, don't you think that here's a country, I mean, independence both at the same time. You can't feed your people, you don't have power, you have to get $50 billion from China. Earlier you were living on doles, you haven't been able to maintain a democracy in your country, you are being dumped by your allies subsequently one by one. Doesn't it trouble you, sir? Okay, I'm presuming I've lost Mr. Bhatti. Yes, I'm presuming I've lost him with that Skype connection. Then we'll get him back. Narendra Taneja has been wanting to come in. I'll give him a chance. I'll go to Adil. Mr. Taneja.
Yeah, just a very quick point. You see, we've got to understand one thing when it comes to Pakistan. You see, we cannot look at Pakistan in black and white. There are lots of things in between, and we have to basically understand there are several nuances involved here. People of Balochistan, they love India. Most people in Sindh also, they like India. Most Pashtuns, they like India. You see, so we have to understand that how do we really pursue when it comes to our Pakistan policy. The end result that we want is very simple. Either Pakistan behaves, stop exporting terrorism, or else we have to see what to do together with others, those who are also on our side when it comes to Pakistan.
Yes.
Entire world today look at Pakistan as a rogue country, as an exporter of terrorism. Thanks to India, we are the one.
Okay, so let me
build that perception.
Let me crystallize this. Okay, let me crystallize this and then pass it on to the table. I don't have much time left. Let me crystallize. I should crystallize it for us. I mean, what needs to be done within? I mean, you speak to people from all sides of the fence here. People within the armed forces, people within the external affairs ministry. In a lot of measure, a lot of these people are very happy with the support that they've gotten from the politically run government establishment. Where do you think? Or where do they think is missing?
See, primarily whenever we speak to the MEA diplomats and the MOD generals and admirals and air marshals, what is lacking here is one line policy. As I mentioned, you are conducting surgical strike on one hand. At the same time, you have the MFN status given to Pakistan. As far as the ICJ part is concerned, this is completely not this entire episode. We must understand there is a difference in approach. Pakistan, Mr. Taneja,
I'll come back to you. He's making an observation. I'll come back to you to explain.
Pakistan is not having this approach with the ICJ. They are basically playing to their local population. Just 6 months from now, don't forget there is a general election in Pakistan on 15th of July. They know that that's exactly going to be the time when they will be losing the case or just a couple of months before that. So basically they are telling their own people, their own citizens that we are as a good army, as a good government, as a good country. They know that they are going to lose the case. And India has been having this approach with the ICJ. And this is not something that ICJ would entertain much, as far as this humanitarian meeting is concerned, because ICJ is very focused. You discuss just legal and the technical things there on the basis of Vienna Convention, not on the basis of chappal rakh liya, juta rakh liya. Those things cannot be discussed and have any.
It's an honorable mention at best. Okay, so that boils down. It boils down to a few things, and let me take them back to Arsalan Bhatti. If you can hear us this time, Mr. Bhatti. My question to you was, when does it become painful, sir, to now look back at the history of your country, both in the past 70 years and in the recent history, where democracy hasn't been able to take root, there have been dictator after dictators, you can't even supply power to most of your cities, you need now China to build a corridor through Rawalpindi to Karachi to provide trade and investment. Don't you feel bad about it? Something has gone wrong?
About power, I want to clear just one thing. Yes. We had been producing 11,000 megawatts this year. We are producing, and there is zero load shedding all over Pakistan, except in those areas where the people are peace. Where is the power theft.
So that's not an Indian plot. Okay, happy to hear that.
This is of course that is not Indian plot. Okay, I'm not blaming India. This is our own blame. We are our misdeeds of action. Number two, why Pakistan accepted an appeal of two ladies to bring them to Pakistan, rather to allow them to Pakistan to come to Pakistan and meet a person. Remember in your minds that the case of Mr. Kulbhushan Yadav is not an ordinary case. It is a special case. Pakistan has to come forward, not once, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pakistan has to come forward.
No, I agree with you. It's not an ordinary case. When a person gets kidnapped, gets held in custody for 20 months, gets convicted arbitrarily by a military court, that's certainly not an ordinary case at all. You're right.
Let me finish in 30 seconds.
Yes.
Let me finish in 30 seconds. And the person who was talking that Vienna Convention are bound to on binding on Pakistan to provide consular access. Vienna Convention under Article 35 was very much binding on Pakistan, but not in case of any terrorist.
Okay, you're still convinced, and all the best with your Attorney General should be sending you down to The Hague, sir, to make a better case for them than they've already made in April.
Of course.
Okay, Adil, I'm just coming to you in a second. I quickly want to rope in Ambassador Mukherjee again. Ambassador Mukherjee, the point that Ashish is making, that little bit of cohesion that still needs to be addressed, because we have to be systematic in this approach. This hot and cold doesn't work, hasn't worked, and two sides doing two different things doesn't work either.
Listen, it's not as easy as all that, and you know, that's easier said than done.
A lot of things are.
Foreign policy, particularly with a totally intransigent neighbor, is a very dynamic situation. It evolves. Frankly, when you're talking of, you know, going away from symbolic gestures and all that, cutting off, suspending or eliminating an MFN, most favored nation position for Pakistan is not going to do anything at all to change Pakistan's behavior. Nothing is going to, even a parliament resolution won't do that.
So what will? What will?
But the parliament resolution is important. Yes. It's significant because these are the representatives of the people of India who've taken a clear situation. The world has to understand this.
Yes.
So this is not something that's symbolic.
Okay.
It is something that is necessary.
I quickly open
right now, diplomatic pressure must continue, and as I said, it must continue on a broad canvas, not just this episode. But all the sustained efforts that we have made and to some success must continue. And final point, Pakistan will not change its behavior until it feels, there I agree with Ashish, until it feels the pain of punishment. But that's overt and overt terms for our government to take a call.
What other options do we have when you see people legislating in parliament, which is what their job is?
Rishabh, in terms of options, it's not just the Indian parliament which has its bill pending to declare Pakistan as a terror state. There is a similar bill in US Parliament.
Yes.
If I'm not wrong, the congressman from Texas, Ted Poe, and one more congressman from California. There is one similar bill pending in UK to declare Pakistan as a terror state. And if Indian government can do the diplomatic steps forward and get all these countries together, it will corner Pakistan.
It will completely corner Pakistan. What do you expect? Gaurav Gupta, what do you expect when you see legislators in parliament whose job is to legislate? This is the halls of parliament where messages are sent and the ideas and inferences of actionability have to be drawn from there. What do you expect from them?
See, nothing can be done right now at the floor of the parliament which can't be done at the ICJ. At the ICJ, we've already adopted the best possible measure. We have an extremely strong case going forward. We don't need to do anything beyond that. The more Pakistan tries to cover its tracks, the more it digs itself into a hole, the more it embarrasses itself and becomes a subject of ridicule.
Adil, quickly, 30 seconds. I'll leave the last word with Mr. Taneja. 30 seconds, Adil.
Rishabh, it's time that our words translate into action. That's point number one. Point number two, what I stated earlier, the ICJ litigation deals with consular access. The government of India must come out with a strategy so that we bring Mr. Jadhav back, and the Congress party will fully support the government of India. As far as Mr. Jadhav is concerned, he's a son of the soil. It is in all our interest to bring him back, and we will do whatever is necessary.
Happy to hear that. Narendra Taneja, you've done a lot, you say, and to some success in a lot of fronts. Some ideas have been thrown on your way. What do you feel, sir, honestly, on what more the government can do? Because Ambassador Mukherjee has told us the situation is dynamic, everything can't be predictive. But what can you feel that we can still do?
You see, two quick points. Number one, when it comes to Pakistan, it's not the government of India, it's the Republic of India. Every single Indian is with the government when it comes to Pakistan. I hope Congress would also consider itself part of Republic of India. Second important point is, when it comes to these things, we have to focus on strengthening our armed forces and our economy. Over a period of time, this matter will get resolved. Pakistan understands only one language, that is force and power.
Mr. Jadhav is the son of the soil. We want him back.
politically and economically more powerful.
Yes,
and
I don't
that's
think
what
the
basically
fundamental
is going
argument can
so
be
we have to
argued with.
focus on
That's the same
strengthening
argument
India's
China has
military
adopted, and same argument applies to India.
economic power.
We try to keep away from the politics of it, even though they exist into having a session. This is not the last debate we'll have on Pakistan or the last debate on Kulbhushan Jadhav. But the fact that we come a long way, that we can have that cogent conversation and still pile up the pressure says a lot. Thank you for having it with us. Good night.
This program is co-powered by Max Rupa, your health first.